الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده. أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله نور السماوات والأرض. وقال الله سبحانه وتعالى: يا أيها النبي إنا أرسلناك شاهدا ومبشرا ونذيرا وداعيا إلى الله بإذنه وسراجا منيرا. وقال الله سبحانه وتعالى: الله ولي الذين آمنوا يخرجهم من الظلمات إلى النور. صدق الله العظيم. ونحن على ذلك لمن الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. Respected elders, honorable brothers and friends in Islam, we commence with the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and having taken the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we send durood, salawat, greetings and salutation to our noble master Nabi Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Respected elders, brothers and friends in Islam, at this moment in time, the Ummah are facing many challenges. And at the same time, we in this country are facing many challenges. For a good few months now, there's been an escalation in the electricity crisis. And yesterday, you probably would know better than me, the rand-dollar exchange. And one of the reasons, because of the failures of ESCOM, although there were other reasons as well. And the way you and I speak, in our, should I say, kitchen language, or kitchen English, there's no lights. So today we'll speak about lights. So today we'll speak about lights, but not the ESCOM lights, not the lights that we have on our ceilings or lights in the meaning of electricity, but other lights that are referred to in the Quran and the Hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The light of Allah, the light of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then the light of the friend of Allah, which we will explain to mean the light of the believer. And then if time permits, maybe we can even speak of the light of the hypocrite, the light of the munafiq. But let's start with the light of Allah. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes himself in various ways. And one of the ayat in which Allah describes himself, Allah says, Allahu nur samawati wal ard. Allah is, when you translate it without the aid of the explanations of the ulama, without the aid of the books of tafsir, it will translate, Allah is the light of the skies and the earth. But the scholars of tafsir, the ulama of the Quran say it means Allahu munawwiru samawati wal ard. Allah is the creator of all the light in the skies and the earth. Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wassalam makes dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rabbi arini anzur ilayk. You know, we speak with people over the phone. We speak with people over social media platforms. Often we are communicating with people whom we've never ever met before. Maybe it's somebody that we do business with. Maybe it's somebody that we just take for granted. Like I have a friend in Robertshire, and when he found out where I'm married and who's my brother-in-law, he was like, is that your brother-in-law? I work for so-and-so and I communicate with your brother how many years, but we've never ever met. So imagine, once upon a time, maybe the elders in the community will know. People in my generation maybe heard, but we don't know. Pen pals. Where people would write to people in other parts of the world, and you have a pen pal. And eventually you want to meet the person on the other side. And then in these days, because of social media, and you're communicating with somebody, and eventually there's this desire to meet the person on the other side. To meet this person I'm speaking to. Imagine here you're speaking of the Nabi of Allah. Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. And daily he's speaking to Allah. Daily he's speaking to the creator of mankind. Man falls in love with fellow human beings. Man is weak, the person on the other side also has weaknesses. Man has some faults and defects, the person on the other side also has his faults and defects. Here Musa is speaking with the most perfect of all beings, with the creator of all perfection. He's speaking to Allah. He gets wahi from Allah. Let's take the example of you and I. From such a young age of maybe 2 or 3 years, we hear in the name of Allah and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. From as far as we can remember, we've been taught to say sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We hear talks of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We eventually reach a stage where there is this desire in the heart, Allah, I want to see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then you will find people like asking, is there dua that I can read so I can see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in my dream? And then there would be those learned people who would say, just lead your life according to the Quran, according to the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Make dua, you will see Allah, you will see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the hereafter. But then, if you have this desire to see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you've got iman, then there's eventually going to be this desire, Allah, I want to see you. And Quran tells us, it's natural, Quran tells us, and you will see Allah in the hereafter. There are hadith which say, you will see Allah in the hereafter. وُجُوهُ يَوْمَئِذٍ نَاظِرَةٌ إِلَىٰ رَبِّهَا نَاظِرَةٌ وُجُوهُ يَوْمَئِذٍ نَاظِرَةٌ. On that day, faces, some people's faces of the believers will be fresh and joyful, happy. إِلَىٰ رَبِّهَا نَاظِرَةٌ. They'll be looking at their Rabb. But sometimes man is hasty. Sometimes man has no patience. And when it's a question of love, then love for Allah drives man. Allah, can't I see you now? So Musa alayhi salam, speaking to Allah every day, he reaches a point where he cannot bear it anymore. Rabbi arini anzur ilayk. Allah, can't I see you now? Allah arini, show yourself to me, I want to see you. Allah replies, Lan tarani. Musa, you can't see me now. Not in this worldly life. But Allah says to Musa alayhi salam, I'll show you something. وَلَكِنْ انظُرْ إِلَى الْجَبَلِ. So there's a mountain nearby. So Allah tells Musa to look at that mountain. And Allah says, Musa, I'm going to reveal a little bit of my light to that mountain. And if when I reveal that little bit of my light to that mountain, استقر مكانه, if that mountain remains firm and remains in place, then فسوف تراني, then you can see me in this worldly life. فلما تجلى ربه للجبل, when Allah revealed just a little bit of his light to the mountain, scholars of tafsir say, little bit of light, equivalent to half a human fingertip. And when that happened, the mountain crushed to pieces. And when Musa saw the mountain crush into pieces, خَرَّ مُوسَى سَائِقًا, Musa fainted. Musa fell down unconscious. That's the light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the light of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, remember we speak of lights. The light of Allah, the light of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. One was the spiritual light of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And one was the worldly or physical light on the face of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The spiritual light of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allah says in the Quran, Ya ayyuhan Nabi, O Nabi, Inna arsalnaka shahidan wa mubashiran wa nadhira. O Nabi, we sent you as a witness. Wa mubashira, a giver of good news. A giver of great tidings, wa nadhira, and a warner. وَدَاعِيًا إِلَى اللَّهِ, we sent you as an inviter to Allah, as a guide to Allah. And we sent you as Siraj and Munira. Now these are 5 descriptions of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And each one needs considerable amount of time for explanation. But we're just going to focus on, because we're speaking of light. And the light of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the last one. And I sent you as Siraj and Munira. Siraj and Munira, a shining sun. Some of the ulama say it means a shining lamp, a radiant lamp. And there are those who say no, it means a shining sun. And then they say the reason why Allah describes Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a shining sun, or as a bright lamp, a bright light. Now today we've got so much of experience, isn't it? If there is a sudden blackout, sudden power outage, or there is load shedding and you just never prepared, and in the dark, you sometimes can't find your way. You need lights to find your way in this world. Allah Ta'ala says, Insan, man, you are on a journey from this world to the hereafter. Your worldly life is nothing but a journey. You need to get from here to Allah, and you need a light to lead you to Allah. You need a light in this journey, spiritual light, and that's the light of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So just as the light is going to guide in the darkness of the night, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam guides us in the path of life. That's the spiritual light of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As far as the physical light, the nur on the face of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Arabs used to love the swords. Like how there may be people among us who have firearms, and then they love their firearms, and in their leisure they busy polishing that firearm, and they're cleaning that firearm, and making sure that this thing is perfectly clean, so there's no hiccups when we need to use it, Allah forbid. But nevertheless, so Arabs were the same. They used to love it. There were no guns in those days, no firearms, but they had the swords, and they were always like polishing the sword, making sure that sword is shining. So now a Sahabi is asked by somebody else, one of the Tabi'een, one of the students of the Sahabi, he asks the Sahabi, he says, أَكَانَ وَجْهُ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ مِثْلَ السَّيْفِ. What you say? That the face of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was like a sword, which shine like the sword. He says, بَلْ مِثْلَ الْقَمَرِ. What are you talking of a sword? The face of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was like the full moon, مِثْلَ الْقَمَرِ. Another Sahabi, Bara bin Azib radiyallahu anhu, says he came out of his house. في ليلة إدحيان. ليلة إدحيان, a night in which the moon was full, bright and shining. 14th night of the lunar month. Full moon. The night is bright and shining. And then he says, and then I saw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he says, I turned my gaze a few times between the moon and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I looked at the moon, I looked at the Rasulullah, I looked at the moon again, and again I looked at Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then I realized, فَإِذَا هُوَ أَحْسَنُ عِنْدِي مِنَ الْقَمَرِ. And then I realized, to me, in my opinion, in my belief, my Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam looks more handsome, looks more beautiful, shines more, has a greater glow than even the moon. That was the physical light of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We said we're speaking of lights. The different types of lights. And the third light is the light of the believer. The light of the mu'min. But initially I said the light of the friend of Allah. And the reason why we said the light of the friend of Allah is because the ayat, the verse in Surah Al-Baqarah, in the third juz indicates that every believer is a friend of Allah. Allahu waliyyul ladhina amanu. Allah is the friend of alladhina amanu. Allah is the friend of those who believe. Allah is the friend of those who have iman. Generally, most often, people think, when we speak of Waliullah, a friend of Allah, people think we speak of somebody who is like super pious. Somebody who is like divorced the dunya. He's sitting in a masjid maybe, corner of the masjid, all the time, 24/7 on his prayer mat and his musalla, subhanallah, subhanallah. Undoubtedly, that is a wali. Undoubtedly, that is a friend of Allah. But in the light of the Quran, in the light of the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there's different levels of friendship with Allah. Those who super pious, those are very, very high friends of Allah, or highly ranked friends of Allah. But in the light of the ayat, Allahu waliyyul ladina amanu, as long as you believe in Allah, you are also a friend of Allah. Every believer is a friend in Allah. What does Allah say? Allahu waliyyul ladina amanu. Allah is the friend of the believers. يُخْرِجُهُمْ مِنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ. He removes them from darkness and He keeps them in light. And He keeps them in light, which means, irrespective of whether we have that light or not, irrespective of whether ESCOM's lights are on or not, as a believer, we all have light. We all have light. We have the light of Iman. Let's be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all the bounties of Allah, for all the bounties, worldly bounties and daily bounties. Most important, let's be grateful to Allah that Allah bless us with the light of Iman, that Allah blessed us with La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Let's now make dua. Let's lead our lives. Let's try. Let's do something so that we can preserve this Iman, so that we leave this world with Iman, so that we wake up in the hereafter from our graves with Iman, and so that Allah will reward us for our Iman and send us into the eternal gardens of Jannah. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.